On Acoustic Tuesday, episode number 64, you're going to learn how to play an open D tuning with confidence, unite with other guitar geeks to help a luthier's family, and discover a substance that will help you get a grip on your pick. All that and more right after this. If you believe that playing acoustic guitar is about sharing the joy of music with friends and family, not just mastering the technical side of playing, then this show is your dream come true. Every Tuesday morning, I give you my list of exciting guitar geek discoveries, gear, and new music so you can stay inspired to live your best acoustic life. I'm Tony Polecastro, and this is the Acoustic Tuesday Show. Guitar geeks, unite. Welcome to Acoustic Tuesday, episode number 64. This is the show where you're going to learn about acoustic guitar gear, discover acoustic artists, and get inspired to live your very best acoustic life. As with all episodes of Acoustic Tuesday, I'm going to share with you my guitar geek list for the week, and this week I've got some dandies for you to check out. But first, I want to introduce you to the new guy on the show, and that is, of course, who I believe is Sir Noah Jacob Heckman Jr. the first, but I'm not entirely positive.
You are absolutely positively correct, Tony.
Noah, when you showed up this morning, I couldn't look at you straight for a while.
Why?
Well, it's just I had this visceral reaction of like I needed to vomit.
Vomit. That was your reaction?
I just didn't expect a 1980s private investigator to walk through the door today, but here you are.
Yes, here I am. Now,
explain yourself, please.
I kind of explained on the previous episode, that there was a reason behind the scruffiness, and this is it. Now, in case you don't know, our viewers are always very informed, so they probably know. So for your edification, Tony, November has kind of come to be known in male circles as Mustache November, No Shave November, or Movember.
Okay.
Don't know if you've heard that before.
I've heard Movember. I just didn't know that it was like a real thing.
And I have not really participated before.
Okay.
Now, the point of it is simply to bring awareness to men's health issues.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh.
Men, they tend to get, they're all bravado and tough, and a lot of times we can let our own health slide and think that, I don't need to go see a doctor or get checked, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know what, Tony? We do.
We do.
So this is my statement of, you know what, guys? We're not made of stone and...
Or steel.
As
Superman was.
And so, let's take care of ourselves. And there you go.
I can appreciate that, Noah. And I actually, that was a little excessive for me to say vomit. Your mustache is not vomit-inducing. And
Thank
actually,
you.
It is growing on me the more that I see it. It's just an adjustment period. I'm sensing a strong Freddie Mercury vibe. Less 80s cop, more Freddie Mercury.
Okay. My wife said something similar.
That's because we have good taste.
I agree. Of course, she wouldn't said what you said earlier.
The vomit part?
The vomit part.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's just it's like we'll call it a Halloween hangover. Okay.
Okay.
I'm still in that gruesome mood from Halloween, and
that makes sense.
This is what happens.
I'll give you a pass.
What happens to a guy? Well, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Well, I want to dig in today because there's a ton of stuff to do, and this first item is one that's near and dear to me because it helped me break through a bit of a rut myself on the acoustic guitar. So I want to share a lesson with you all on open tunings right now. I think open tunings are incredibly cool because it just unlocks this massive amount of creativity and exploration on the guitar. But there's a couple hurdles in the way. I know when I was first playing guitar and even thought about alternate tunings, there was a lot of questions that buzzed around in my head. Number one, I'm not good enough to do an alternate tuning. I barely know my way around regular tuning. Number two, I don't even know really how to get to alternate tuning. And what if I can't ever get my guitar back to standard tuning? That was a nightmare scenario that I didn't want to have happen. And also, I was like, I'm going to just break strings if I start messing with the tuning. And I just don't want to do that. And quite honestly, there was a bit of laziness in me as well. I just didn't want to mess with the tuning because that means I'd have to bring it back. And at the time, tuning was quite the chore for me because I didn't totally get it. But the first time I experienced open tunings, it was like my mind was blown. You know that little emoji on your phone that you can pick with the guy, he's got his head chopped off and there's explosions coming out of it? That was me. They modeled that after me when I first discovered open tunings. So today I want you to grab your guitar. I'm going to give you a crash course in specifically an open D tuning. And there's really 3 easy steps. Now, this isn't going to be a do this and name it exactly this. This is just a guide to explore open D tuning. And if you choose to explore it more, then there's tons of resources out there. But I just want to break down that fear barrier for you right here, right now. I'll give you a 3-step process to just explore open D tuning. And the first step of that process is, of course, to tune your guitar to open D tuning. And all we're doing in this is mimicking a chord, okay? So we're tuning our guitar to match the notes of a chord. So when you strum all the strings open, it'll sound nice and full and lush and very, very musical. So to get to open D tuning, from standard tuning, each string is gonna be going down, okay? So all the strings I tell you to adjust, you're tuning them down in pitch. You're not raising any of the strings. And you don't even have to modify all the strings. So here it is. You're going to take your low E string and tune it down to a D note. You're going to take your A string and leave it as an A string. You're going to take your D string and leave it as a D string. Your G string will go down a half step to an F sharp. Your B string will go down a full step to an A note. And then your high E string will go down to a D note. Okay, so we have D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. And that's open D tuning. And once you tune to those particular notes, strum your guitar. And if it sounds magical, you're on the right path. If it doesn't sound magical, double check your tuner and make sure you're on the right track. Okay, so we've gotten into the tuning. Now what? You know, what the hell do you do, right? Cool, this is a new tuning. I don't know my way around in it, right? That's usually the question that gets asked. Well, I want to ask you to isolate a single string. Just one string, that's it. And we're gonna play a major scale on one string. And we're gonna target the D string, okay? You can pick any of the D strings in your open D tuned guitar. It could be the low D, the middle D, or the high D. For the sake of example, I'm gonna use the high D, and we're just gonna play a major scale. We'll play it open, then on the 2nd fret, the 4th fret, the 5th fret, the 7th, the 9th, the 11th, and the 12th. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Just a basic major scale on one string. And you might be thinking, okay, that's great. What am I going to do with that? Well, the beautiful thing about open tuning is that you can play those notes that you're fretting and strum all of the other open strings, and it sounds, well, quite honestly, glorious. Okay? So I want you to take that same pattern, but instead of just hitting one string, I want you to strum all the strings. So we'll go open, 2nd fret, 4th fret, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, 12th. It's one of the coolest things about open tunings is that you can pair your fretted notes with open strings and get this huge lush sound. And I want you to just mess around on that single string, do different combinations, right, of that particular pattern. It could be anything. Remember, you have other D strings to mess around with as well. So you can take that middle D and just mess with that. That's just fretting one single string and pairing it with strums. It's a really fun experiment, and that's really step 2 in getting familiar with open D tuning. You don't have to know what note you're hitting. You don't have to know exactly what to call it. I just want to give you a guide to kind of create and explore this tuning. In fact, one of the other beautiful things about open tuning is that if you hit a wrong note, it will jump out immediately as a wrong note. There's really, it's pretty black and white in an open tuning. Let's say the 6th fret, for example. It's kind of it's kind of a dissonant sound, right? It doesn't fit that beautiful sound we were getting before, and that's okay. I think it's beautiful in its own way, but that's a whole nother story. But if you compare that note to the other ones, it's very different. So open tunings will really highlight the right note as much as they'll really highlight the wrong note. See what I mean? Okay, so that's step 2, is to just mess around with a major scale on one of the D strings. That's it. So you get to the tuning and you mess around with a major scale. The next question that happens with open tuning is that, okay, cool, I got this single string thing, it's fun, but I've pretty much exhausted it. What's next? Well, chords, right? Do you have to learn a bunch of new chords for open tunings? Well, technically, kinda. But I don't want you to think of that right now, Okay, I want you to think of, there's just two chord scenarios that I want to show you. The first is really easy. In open tuning, we're in open D tuning, so if I strum it, it's a D chord. If I bar any of the frets, it's going to be a major chord. So in the key of D, we'd want to bar the 5th fret because that's a G chord. And we'd want to bar the 7th fret because that's an A chord. Same shape, right? We're just barring all the strings. And then you can go up to the 12th fret if you want to. Whoops. Right? So just barring the chords, that will give you, or just barring the strings will give you a chord, right? But we want to get a little bit more fancy than that because we got some exploring to do. So there's two chord shapes I'm going to show you. One is called, I like to call the staggered shape, and one is called the inline shape. I don't want you to get hung up on what the exact name of the chords are because, again, we're just experimenting and exploring, trying to make pretty sounds in this cool new tuning. So the first shape, we're going to be fretting the A string and the F sharp string. Okay, you're going to take your middle finger, fret the 2nd fret of the A string, your index finger, the 1st fret of the F sharp string. Okay, this is your staggered chord shape. It's a pretty beautiful shape, right? Okay, that's the first instance of the staggered chord shape. If you take this chord shape and move it up 2 frets, so it spans the 4th and 3rd fret, that's your next instance of the staggered chord shape. Now I want you to take your middle finger, bump it up 1 fret, so it's on the 5th fret of the A string, and then take your ring finger and go ahead and fret the 5th fret of the F sharp string. That's your inline shape. Okay. Take that inline shape, bump it up 2 more frets to the 7th fret. It's your next occurrence of the inline shape. Middle finger's now going to shoot to the 9th fret of the A string, index finger the 8th fret of the F sharp, another staggered shape spanning the 9th and 8th fret. Now shoot your middle finger up 1 more fret to the 10th fret of the A string, ring finger drops to the 10th fret of the F sharp string. We got an inline shape on the 10th fret. And then take that inline shape and bump it to the 12th fret. So just 2 chord shapes, you've just expanded your offering of sound in a major way. In fact, you can play it in this particular series, all open, staggered between the 2nd and 1st, staggered between the 3rd and 4th, inline on the 5th, inline on the 7th, staggered between the 8th and 9th, inline on the 10th, inline on the 12th. This way, you can mess around with chord shapes and get a little bit more note variations out of your exploration in open D. So there you have it. Those are 3 steps so that you can start messing around in open D with some confidence. Get to the tuning, play a major scale on a single string, the D string, and then mess with those chord shapes, the staggered chord shape and the inline chord shape. You can do them in any combination, in any order, and I think you'll find that that gives you just at least a little bit of a roadmap so you can start creating and exploring open D with a little bit more confidence. And I know for me it opened up a world of opportunity just in what was possible with my guitar. It kind of made my guitar feel like, well, it kind of made my guitar feel like a new instrument. And certainly, I think in a way it felt like for me that it took my playing to the next level, which is something, of course, I want you to do. And I do want to mention that if you're out there and you're thinking, I would like to take my playing to the next level for certain, I want to do it right now, I want you to check out Tony's Acoustic Challenge. Okay, go to tonysAcousticChallenge.com. You'll be able to read about the program, and if it resonates with you, if you dig it, if you've been watching Acoustic Tuesday for a while, you've never heard of Tony's Acoustic Challenge, go to tonysAcousticChallenge.com, check it out, and see if it's something for you. And if it does sound like something that will help you, please request your invite. I think you'll really, really dig it, and I think you'll have a blast, especially if you like what we just went over here today. I think there's a lot of cool gems waiting for you over there. Now, we have been doing kind of these quick lessons right on the front end of all the Acoustic Tuesday shows, and I know I've really been enjoying teaching it, and the response has been pretty good, but I want to know more from you all. So, first of all, I want you to, in the comments below, let me know if you like these little lessons at the beginning of the Acoustic Tuesday show, and secondly, if you're thinking, yeah, I do like these lessons, but I have specific questions, or I want to learn something specific. Please put that in the comments below. Put #teaching and go ahead and type in what you'd like to learn about. It could be playing related, tuning related, technique related, whatever the case may be. I'd love to keep doing these little teaching segments and, of course, tailor it to the Acoustic Tuesday, the folks that are viewing Acoustic Tuesday. So, yeah, in the comments below, let me know what you think, and let me know what you'd like to learn. Now, we do have to get back on track here. I know I went off on the teaching path, but I got to ask you a question. I have to ask you your Guitar Geek trivia question for the day. So, here is your Guitar Geek trivia. In what year was Bourgeois Guitars officially founded? Was it A, 1985, B, 1988, C, 1992, or D, 1995? In what year was Bourgeois Guitars officially founded? Go ahead and ponder that, and at the end of the show, I'll be sure to give you the answer. Now, I do want to check in with Noah because I'd asked you all for your comments, and Noah just absolutely filters through all the comments of all of the Acoustic Tuesday shows, and he hand selects some real gems, some shout-outs, some comments that make us laugh, some comments that make us cry. Noah?
Sure do.
What do you have for us today?
Okay, well, let's jump on in. So shout-outs today, again, always taken from previous Acoustic Tuesday episodes, from viewers just like you. So the first one comes from Tony S. He says, "Hi, Tony and Noah, here from Ludlow, Shropshire, England."
Cool.
I know I mangled that. I picked the show up from around AT35 and have watched ever since, as well as catching up on the back catalog. I've learned so much and have been introduced to many new artists. Thank you for a truly great show. I would add a side note, Halloween having been on the horizon, right? He says, we have a couple of villages down in the Cotswolds called Upper Slaughter and Lower Slaughter. Nothing to do with witches or ghoulish things, but a fun snippet. Hope you guys had a great Halloween.
Love it. We had we had Merseyside, and then we had Chris Knight from Slaughter. Was it Slaughter, Kentucky, Tennessee? I can't remember.
Right.
But it was Slaughter.
Yeah.
And now we have an Upper Slaughter and a Lower Slaughter.
Correct. I don't know.
That's really neat. I like that.
All right, next up, we have a shout-out that goes to Stanislav V. And he gives a shout-out from South Bohemia from the Czech Republic.
Nice.
And says, I own two Furch.
Or Furk.
Well, he put the S on there.
Okay.
So it was like plural because he has two of them. Yeah.
Furchai.
And he says, and intimately know quite a few others. Proud to have such a high-quality guitar maker here.
Heck
now,
yeah.
I get to add here, I dig that he's given a shout-out from the Czech Republic because, as you know, Tony, my dad and his German-born wife just 2 weeks ago have moved officially overseas to the Czech Republic.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's so rad.
I know. So
they got to go on a tour of the Furch guitar factory.
You know, I will make sure to tell him that next time I'm on the phone.
That'd be a fun thing to do.
But what that means is that it's in my future. I'm going to go to the Czech Republic.
Oh, man.
So.
Are you going to take me?
Of course.
Even though I was unkind about your mustache.
I wouldn't go anywhere without you. All right. Next shout out goes to Brady M. Who says, cheers from Papua New Guinea.
Way cool. I'm sensing a theme in your comments here, Noah.
I was waiting for Papua New Guinea. I know we've had shout outs from New Zealand. I know there's some Tony's Acoustic Challenge members in New Zealand. And I was just waiting for P&G to pop up.
Awesome.
And then next one goes to Jonathan E., who says, love the show, big fan. Looking at getting an OM21. We'll let you know how it goes.
Love those.
Nice work in the gym, too, Tony. Looking swole.
Well, I have to give Noah as a source for inspiration there. Because every day, right around 11 o'clock, you can see Noah just gets this look in his eye. He's like he's in our little kitchen over here, like making supplement drinks. He makes an electrolyte drink.
Yeah.
And he goes downstairs and he literally trains for an hour. So I was like, I got to do that too.
That's
Noah's
cool.
really setting the bar high. So.
Well, I appreciate that, Tony. I thought I might have had something to do with that inspiration.
Did.
Cool. Well, thank you. And our last shout out today goes to Mickey Yu, who says, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for all you do. Most of all, giving acoustic artists a review and bringing them to light to average Joes like me.
Oh.
Up until I've discovered the show, I've grown tired of the mainstream music, and thanks to you, I now enjoy all the artists you have on the show. Okay. To name a few of my favorites, Caitlin Canty,
nice,
Otis Gibbs, Jeffrey Foucault, and Benjamin Todd, along with the Lost Dog Street Band. You guys keep up the good work, and once again, thanks for changing my life for the better.
Oh, wow, thanks. That's an awesome comment. Really appreciate that. Awesome. Well, is that all? I don't want to cut you off. Sorry.
Yes, that's it for shout-outs and comments for today.
Well, thank you, Noah, and thank you to everybody who leaves comments on the show. We love hearing from you all. And one of the things I wanted to mention, I forgot to mention as I was teaching, but I know I kind of breezed through the Open D stuff. And if you want to do kind of a deeper dive in Open D, a deep Open D dive, I don't know what I'm trying to say. All I'm saying is if you want to learn more at maybe a little bit slower pace, just go to acousticlife.tv/AT64. And I filmed kind of an official lesson, which has me going into a little bit more detail. So, of course, if you want to learn more, go and check that out. And again, thank you for all of you who have left comments. We do really enjoy hearing from you. The Acoustic Tuesday community, you guys totally rock. I just got to be honest. You guys... You're super supportive. I love the questions. I love that. I love seeing people help each other in the comments. You guys are pretty exceptional. So I just want to say cheers to you all and thank you very much. And speaking of the Acoustic Tuesday community and really our acoustic guitar community in general, one of the things that I realized when I was first getting into the acoustic guitar, I thought it was this wide expanse of so many builders and players and all this and that and the other thing. And there are a lot of us acoustic guitar geeks out there, but you know, the community is actually pretty tight-knit and pretty small. So you should be honored to be a part of this community. I think it's a pretty exceptional group of people, as I mentioned before. And one of the items on the show today that I want to mention is that, you know, as a part of this acoustic guitar community, this tight-knit family of builders, players, just fans, enthusiasts, etc., you know, we try and help out our own when we can. And one of the things I want to bring to your attention is something that happened recently. Preston Thompson of Preston Thompson Guitars, was in the hospital. And he's recovering, but there were some difficulties and things like that. So I want to read something real quick, and then I want to let you know how you can help as a member of the acoustic guitar community. So this is taken from a GoFundMe page, and I'll explain more on that here in a second, but here is the story. On June 29th, Preston Thompson of Preston Thompson Guitars in Sisters, Oregon underwent serious surgery at Oregon Health and Sciences University, OHSU, in Portland. Unfortunately, his surgery resulted in complications and required additional surgeries and life support. Preston was in the OHSU intensive care unit for over 50 days and still remains in the hospital with complications. His recovery has been slow and he will still need months of rehabilitation after he is discharged from the hospital. Preston and his wife Julie live in beautiful Bend, Oregon, over 3 hours away from OHSU. Julie has had to take a leave of absence from her job to remain with Preston at OHSU, and this entails her having to make numerous trips over the Cascade Mountains and find temporary lodging in Portland. Preston's daughter, along with his wonderful friends, have been an enormous source of encouragement during this time and give Preston the motivation to get stronger every day. Preston has a goal, and that is to get home and resume working with his fantastic Thompson guitar crew. Building exceptional guitars has been his passion since he began Thompson Guitars over 30 years ago. The family wants to thank everyone for cards, flowers, texts, and well wishes. Donations will directly help offset medical and travel expenses. Every little bit helps. Thank you for all of your love and kindness. And I just want to call your attention to this GoFundMe campaign donation page that was set up to help offset some of the medical costs, some of the travel costs, and just really help out the Thompson family through a rough spot right now. I talked to Christine over at Thompson Guitars. She is just first of all, a sweet human being, just a wonderful person to communicate with. And I mentioned to her that I was wanting to share this on the Acoustic Tuesday show, and with her approval and the folks at Thompson Guitars, I just wanted to bring this to you all, bring this to your attention, because this is a chance to really help out one of the premier builders of our time. I think when we look back at acoustic guitar building and some of the small bench luthiers that are really making big waves, I think Thompson Guitars, Preston Thompson is going to be one of those luthiers. And as a small community, I think this is our chance for guitar geeks to unite and help somebody out. And Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and it's always cool to kind of I don't know, to contribute and kind of pitch in where you can and help other guitar geeks, whether they be a builder, a player, or enthusiast, or what have you. So make sure to check out that GoFundMe page. To get direct access to that GoFundMe page, just go to acousticlife.tv/AT64. You'll be able to find the link, click right on it, and you can read the description. I read most of it for you here, but make sure to check it out. And if you can donate, please do. If you can't, don't worry, but you can still help. If you can't donate, it's not in the cards for you right now, just spread the word. Share it with other guitar geeks, let other people know, post it on Facebook, Twitter, whatever social media you choose to use. Go ahead and share it on there, and we can really help make a dent and hopefully get Preston well on his way to recovery, as well as helping the family kind of shoulder some of those probably a pretty absorbent medical costs. So thank you for your consideration in that. I also want to thank Preston Thompson for just building a damn fine guitar. I've owned mine for 5 months now, and I love it. I say this every time. I think every time I bring it up, I come into the studio and I'm like, Noah, I was playing that Thompson guitar. And he knows. He told me this the other day. Noah's like, yeah, you get this look. And it's really no joke. Well,
it wasn't the look. It's the tone.
Oh. Oh, that's right.
It's the tone, and I know what you're going to say before you even say it. It's just
so if you can help out, please do. That would be absolutely outstanding and a great way for guitar geeks tonight. Again, to access that, just go to acousticlife.tv/AT64. Now, before Noah and I were rehearsing the show, Noah decided to switch the order of things on me. So if you look at my checklist, there's arrows all over it. So Noah, I want to thank you for throwing curveball my way. What are we doing next? Oh,
you're going to mention that I suggested like one change and you changed like 10?
I do have to, I've got a really cool artist feature today. In fact, this artist has been mentioned to me numerous times by many different people, but I do want to check the mailbag because let me just give you guys a hint. Noah actually got something this week, just purely for him. But we'll get to that here in a second. I want to share with you the cool stuff I got. So first up, I got this nice, I got a book in the mail. I didn't know this was coming. It's called Blues Lessons by Robert Hellinga. Hopefully I said that right. And with it was a note. It says, Dear Tony, before I disappear entirely from your radar, I want to send a copy of one of my early novels. I believe it is the only novel that has been reviewed in Acoustic Guitar Magazine. Well, that's pretty awesome. I'm sending a copy for the review. I found it almost impossible to write a novel without a country blues guitar in it, so in the later novels, I shifted to harmonica and then piano. So I'm just excited to dig into this. I read the synopsis on the back, and it's very, let's say, it's woven together with threads of country blues and music that I really enjoy. So I'm excited to dig into that, and I want to thank Robert for sending that over. Very much appreciate that. Next up was now. Did these folks reach out, Noah? The wrist.
Sure did.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So Noah got an email, and a company that actually makes. They're called wrist grips, and I haven't reviewed them yet. They just came in, but I wanted to show these to you all because this is for folks that are having problems with tendonitis and just hand problems, tension issues. These go around your wrist. I haven't reviewed them yet, so I'm not going to dig in too deep, but these came in, so I can't wait to share these all with you. And I want to thank the folks at Wrist Grips for sending them over. I got the new issue of Acoustic Guitar Magazine, and I took the cover off of it because on top of the actual cover was a big notice for me to renew my subscription. So I'm going to do that. But I wanted you to see the cover because there's a nice pre-war herringbone guitar on the cover, and pretty cool. I always want to call them episodes. A pretty cool issue. Can't wait to dig into that. And I haven't even opened these yet because I wanted you all to see the packaging. Native Sons guitar straps, which are out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, sent me some straps to review. Now, I haven't even opened them yet, but I just wanted you to see this beautiful packaging because I think they're gorgeous. But these are going to be featured on an upcoming episode of Acoustic Tuesday. But I want to dig into them and kind of share my experiences with the straps with you. So that being the case, I just wanted to show you that they came in and how cool the packaging is. So I can't wait to share these on an upcoming episode of Acoustic Tuesday. I'm going to put this down here. And gosh, Noah, I think that's it for the mailbag. What did you get, Noah?
Oh, yes. Stand by.
Okay. You are something else, man.
Am I? Can you guess
So
what it is?
you got a model of the Death Star.
You
are definitely a nerd.
It is kind of a model of a Death Star. I'm holding 20 pounds here.
Mm.
My Death Star themed medicine ball came in the mail. So now I can do real life medicine ball slams with the Death Star. Cool.
I mean, I kind of give you a hard time about your workouts down there already.
Yes. Uh-huh.
This just took it to a whole new level.
Yeah,
it's like a Comic-Con down there now.
I knew you were going to have fun with it. Wait until the
Darth Vader outfit comes?
No, the Spider-Man themed ropes come in.
You did not order those.
You know, the ones that you...
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Noah Jacob Heckman Jr. That he is a one of a kind.
Well,
and we should all feel privileged to know him.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Now, I will say, there wasn't any Rush-themed exercise equipment.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, I'd have been all over that.
I believe
like,
that.
if I could have gotten a medicine ball with, like, the Starman on it, if I could get some, like, ropes that look like wound guitar strings or something.
Oh.
Or bass strings, I should say.
There you
Guitar
go.
strings. I would have done it. And you can use it.
I can't?
Yeah.
Well, you were showing me some exercises. I
Yes.
just felt wrong.
No.
Yeah.
What's mine is yours.
Oh, Noah. Noah, I would like to segue really naturally into small wins right now because I believe that is a small win. You getting that medicine ball.
Yeah, it's a heavy small win.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Not emotionally heavy.
Small wins. Oh yes, that's me. That's my cue. Okay. All right, here we go. Small wins for Acoustic Tuesday episode number 64. First small win comes from Patrick M, who says, cheers, parentheses, scotch. So he's cheersing scotch.
Oh, okay.
We haven't talked about that in a while.
We haven't, yeah.
Tony.
That's a bummer.
So Patrick is cheersing us with scotch from Nashville.
Sorry, Patrick.
And he says, first time small win here. I've got my first paid gig for my own music coming up this Saturday. Also, looks like I may have the ability to go on some short tours with some acquaintances pretty soon.
Hell yes.
Not too shabby. Thanks for your show and keep up the good work.
That is awesome. That is so cool. You know, Patrick, I want you to celebrate that. That's an awesome moment. But I want you to do something real quick. Take that scotch glass, you just set it aside for when Noah comes to visit you, and just grab a glass of bourbon, because I think you'll enjoy your cheers much, much more. But that's really awesome. I'm pretty excited about that. Your own music, your own gig, and a short tour? That's awesome. Just make sure to bring the bourbon. That's it.
Next small win comes from, I'm not going to say this right, Rollstrat Music?
I think you did good.
Is what the title is. It's like an RL. Anyway, it says, hey. Oh, this is actually Becca from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Thanks for sharing all the guitar info. I used to work at my local guitar center and miss being submerged into guitar lingo. I left to stay home with my daughter, almost 2, and which good for you.
Yeah, heck
on
yeah.
that, good on you. And try to talk guitars with her. She understands strumming and picks, but let's just say she'll get there someday. Small win. She's learning young.
I like it. Guitar
Absolutely.
geek in the making.
Yes. Get them while they're young.
That's right.
I don't know why I said it like that, but get them while they're young. Okay, James E. I don't know why I do the things that I do sometimes.
Neither do I.
I don't understand.
It's a curveball.
Must have been taught to me when I was young. All right, last small win for today comes from James E., who says, hello from the Outer Banks, North Carolina. Small win, after 20 plus years of guitar playing, I've been asked to join a band.
All right.
We'll see how this goes. Fingers crossed.
That's awesome.
Plus, he adds a fam jam.
No way.
Hashtag fam jam. My 11-year-old son, a drummer, has now gotten to the point where he comes to me to ask to play practice music together. The best part is seeing how happy he is when we get it right. So much fun. Finally, I have a question. How do you fly on a commercial flight with your guitar? I've had nothing but bad luck with this.
That's a tough one. I mean, that's a good question. That's an awesome small win, by the way. I love that. The fam jam is exceptional too. It reminds me of like that feeling, when you do get it right, It's almost like it's like you're like, oh gosh, it's still happening. Oh gosh, just keep going. So that's awesome. I'm glad you guys can share that. As far as flying goes, I'd love to hear from you all in the comments what your experiences are with flying, good, bad, ugly, or otherwise. But there's two routes that I would go just to kind of be safe. The first one is, well, don't fly with your guitar, but ship it to your destination. And I say this because there you can actually insure it, right? You can ship it, you can have it tracked, you can insure it if something should happen. And the second thing is if you find yourself traveling a lot and taking your guitar often, invest in a flight case. There's a number of different flight cases out there. Yes, I'm going to say this right now, they're expensive. Some of them are staggeringly expensive, where you look at the price and you're like, may as well just buy another guitar. But I've had great luck. I have an older Calton case that was made in Canada when they were in Canada. Now they're in Austin. They've revised the design so it's lighter, but still very, very protective. I've had to check my HD35 in that case, and it came out completely unscathed, so I was happy about that. There's also Hoffy cases, I believe, Hiscox cases, and there's another one, but I'm forgetting the name. Anyways, check out flight cases. It's a good option. And I would still recommend trying to carry on, at least hold it until the gate and say, hey, can you put this in the closet on the front of the plane? If not, if you gate check it, at least that's less baggage handling. But yeah, I think shipping is the best option, to be honest. But sometimes that's just not possible, so a flight case is a good backup plan. So thank you for the question and the small wins. Love hearing those small wins. If you have a small win you want to share, just put hashtag small win, leave it in the comments below, and Noah will go ahead and grab it for a future episode of Acoustic Tuesday. Now, I do want to share who I'm listening to this week, because this name has been thrown at me numerous times from numerous people. So this was recommended through acousticlife.tv by Darcel from Rochester, New York. This artist has also been recommended to me by, we'll call them Mama and Papa Tack for short, but Dom and Sharon T have also recommended this artist. In fact, they have hosted this artist for a house concert at their house. And I am talking about Christie Lenee. Christie Lene, new name to me, but again, it's been thrown my way so many times. I was like, okay, it's time. It's time for me to listen. It's time for me to feature her on the show, because she is an exceptional player. She does the singer-songwriting thing. She's also an incredibly talented instrumental guitar player. I'm talking fingerstyle here. In fact, in 2017, she won the international fingerstyle competition at Winfield, Kansas, the big Walnut Valley competition. That's kind of world-renowned at this point. To come in first in that is a major accomplishment, a huge accolade. So congratulations to Christie. And also, Christie's a player you need to know about. In fact, let's hear some of her music right now. I selected a song for you. Hopefully I say this correctly. It's called A Song for Michael Pukash. Which is just a beautiful song. More on that in here in a second, but let's listen to the song first. I think the thing that's the most striking about Christie's playing is the way that she's able to let the song breathe. I mean, even though, she's doing percussive stuff, tapping stuff, sometimes looping and other actual percussion with like a tambourine on her foot or things like that, the song still has space, which I think is just a sign of a masterful composer. So I strongly recommend checking out Christie's work. There's 3 albums I want to mention. The first came out in 2014. In fact, the first 2 came out in 2014. The first one is a studio album called Chasing Infinity. And then the follow-up to that is called Live at the Hideaway Cafe. Now, I want to just make a quick note that I think the artwork on this album is stellar. Big fan of this artwork. And then in 2016, she released another studio album entitled Stay. So please check her out. So cool that she won the fingerstyle contest and just the way she plays. I think it's I don't know. I admire the way she plays. It's very clear that she is in the moment with the music, which I think is just a sign of a true artist. So check out Christie Lenee. I think you'll really, really dig her. The music is a perfect match if you're at home cooking, if you're at home working, if you're at home, maybe you're hanging out in the hot tub. I think it's just good. I think it's good, like chill, cool acoustic music. And of course, if you want to check out other chill acoustic music, make sure to check out the Spotify playlist, the Acoustic Tuesday Spotify playlist. It has every single artist I have featured in all, 64 episodes so far. So you get 64 brand new artists to you on there. That's also, I think, would make for good cooking music, hot tub music, working music.
Working out music,
relaxing music. You get the idea. Just make sure to check that out. And of course, to learn more about Christie, go to acousticlife.tv/AT64. You'll be able to see more examples of her playing. In fact, there's a great version of her and Tommy Emmanuel playing Landslide, which I think you're going to want to check out because, just go to acousticlife.tv/AT64. You'll be happy. You'll be happy, believe me. Okay, so at this point, I want to make sure that you're enjoying yourself and that we invite other guitar geeks to enjoy themselves on Acoustic Tuesday. So please, I'm asking you to share the show with your other guitar geek friends. If you know somebody that loves acoustic guitar, loves acoustic music, and has not seen the Acoustic Tuesday show, please share the show with them. Send them to acousticlife.tv. Encourage them to check out maybe one of your favorite episodes. That would be absolutely stellar because the whole purpose behind Acoustic Tuesday is to get guitar geeks to unite so that we can live our best acoustic life. So please share the show with your friends. Now, Noah, I have You're a Guitar Geek when. Can I share it right now?
You have one?
I have one.
Oh, I have some.
Because I mixed up some things.
Okay.
But I want to share mine first.
Okay.
Because, I just want to.
I think I know what you're going to do.
You're a guitar geek when you're so excited about other guitar geeks' small wins, you totally forget to mention one of your own small wins.
I knew exactly where you were going.
So I got to share a small win with you guys real quick, and then Noah has some really cool You're a Guitar Geek wins to share. So I have a small win. About, I think it was maybe a month ago, I was talking to Matt at Eddie's Guitars. I met Matt in person when he was out here for the Acoustic Life Festival, and he brought his Bourgeois guitar, his OMSC fingerstyle, custom guitar, beautiful guitar, and he let me play it, and I was smitten. So I called Matt again about a month ago. And I was talking to him about guitars. I'm like, "What do you have in stock?" I'm just kind of jonesing to see what you have, and nothing was really jiving. So we hung up the phone, and I called him the next day. And I said, "What about a custom Bourgeois? Like, how does that work?" So we proceeded to spend about 2 hours on the phone at that point, discussing a myriad of custom options. And I'm so pumped because for the first time in my life, I'm really designing a custom guitar that is specifically to my liking, wants, needs, etc. for playing fingerstyle music. Now, I have designed custom guitars before, but this one was I felt like a little bit more hands-on with this particular one. So I got all the specs, which I'll slowly reveal throughout future Acoustic Tuesday episodes. But check this out. I got my first update picture, and it's of Dana Bourgeois working on the top of my guitar. I mean, it's so cool. Do you have the picture up, Noah?
Just put it up.
It's so cool. I can't express how exciting it is to see a master luthier working on the top to a custom guitar that you're going to hold in your hands one day. And knowing how much Dana knows about tops and voicing, I'm just so pumped to just see the continued progress and share it with you all. But I have a question. This is kind of a trivia part too. If you think you know what the top wood is, in the comments below, please let me know what you think the top is. I'll reveal it next episode of Acoustic Tuesday. But it's a pretty special top, and I can't wait to hear what you think it is. So I just wanted to share that small win. And Noah, I'll kick it back over to you because I know you have some Guitar Geek wins.
Yes, I do.
What's that smile for? What are you doing over there?
I'm chuckling because for whatever reason, you and I have developed this thing to where, now let me say, there's a lot of amazing luthiers out there, and you've talked about many of them.
Uh-huh.
But for whatever reason, I think because, early talks about, the bourgeois guitars and now this, his name in and of itself has kind of become kind of a thing for us.
Yeah.
Like it's become almost like a...
It's true.
Like instead of us saying like, let's say you did something really cool.
Yeah.
And I want to say, wow, good job, Tony. You did good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that anymore. Now we just say, dude, you just pulled a Dana Bourgeois.
Or it's also come as a, like if I make a mistake.
Yes.
And I want to say like, damn. I won't say damn. I'll say, Dana.
Yes.
So it's kind of become, I don't know, it's become part of our is it the dialect? Is
our
that
vernacular?
Yeah, vernacular. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, yes. It's become a part of our vernacular. Because I was just chuckling about that.
It's a high honor. Yeah.
It really is.
Because to say his name in true context is actually less common than it is for us to say it out of context.
Exactly. We'll even sing the name.
It's true.
We'll sing the name. Okay. Yeah. I digress. Guitar Geeks win. Our first one comes from White Hawk Vision Films, who I think has also been a Your Guitar Geek when contributor before. Says, your Guitar Geek when you're losing sleep over the sharp point on your string snip pliers, and they are spring-loaded, so won't close in your guitar case's toolbox. So you get up in the middle of the night and pull the springs off the snips with pliers, and then Dremel the snip tips to a nice soft round. And now you can go back to sleep knowing next string change, if you slip, you won't scar your guitar's top or bridge. That's pretty geeky.
That's very geeky, and I think common. I think guitar geeks lose sleep over a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
Like there are times I'll sit at home. I keep the guitars, the majority of them at the studio here, and there are times I'll be like, I have to humidify. I didn't fill my humidifiers. I'll sit in bed and I'm like, should I just get in the car and go? And then I'm sure Whitney would be like, you're insane. No,
she knew what she was getting into.
Very true. Very true.
Okay, and our last Your Guitar Geek win today comes from regular Your Guitar Geek win contributor Enrico. Says, Your Guitar Geek win, you might need to relocate because of work, and the first thing you check, even before potential accommodations, is if the town that you might be moving to has a music store, and you read customer reviews about it.
Solid.
There you go.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing those. Those are good. Those are both very, very good ones.
Yeah, they were. Yours
those
was
two
too.
are on hot streaks, by the way, because I know I've heard both of those screen names before.
Yes.
I love it.
Yep.
Keep up the good work, guys.
Regular commenters.
Well, if you have you're a guitar geek when, please leave that in the comments below. Those are always a treat because they ring so true. It's one of those things where you kind of take a step back and you think, wow, I am truly a guitar geek. So please share your guitar geek wins with us. They always bring about a bit of a chuckle. Now I want to move on to speaking of, you're a guitar geek when, the pinnacle of guitar geekdom is to share your guitarsenal with Acoustic Tuesday viewers. And I have two guitarsenals submitted by very own Acoustic Tuesday viewers today. And the first one comes from Denny S. The picture was taken in Los Angeles, California. And he says this about the guitarsenal picture. Hello, Noah and Tony. The past spring, I spent some time visiting my brother in LA. I bought him a Guitarsenal shirt for his birthday, and here is our photo of his Guitarsenal. From left to right on the sofa, an unknown 12-string, although the pearl on the headstock does look familiar. Another unknown 6-string, confused and upside down, and a Gibson Les Paul early 1960s reissue, and his brother's holding an Orlando classical guitar. From left to right on the floor, a Dean Zielinski parlor guitar, a Terry Pack SJRS, an Ovation American Elite model, number 1537 from 1983, and his crown jewel. He is the original owner of a Gibson Barney Kessel from 1963. That is very, very cool. He also has a portable keyboard, assorted percussion instruments, as well as he is the original owner of an early 1960s Fender Twin Reverb amp. Denny goes on to say, we spent a great 10 days together and just missed a jam with the floating frets, but maybe next time. So I want to thank Denny and his brother for taking the time out to snap a picture of the Guitarsenal there. Very cool instruments in there. Next up, we have Jim C. from Simi Valley, California. And he says, hey, Tony and Noah, I enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy my Guitarsenal. Couple pictures here. This is going to come in a series. So let's start with picture one. The front row, an Ovation mandolin. The second row, left to right, a Gretsch Dixie 6, a 2009 Gibson J200 painted by Mandy Lawson. That actually has its own YouTube video, so make sure to check that out. And a Martin D420. I always laugh at that one. The third row, left to right, a Taylor 360 12-string, a 2003 Taylor 355 12-string, and a Zager Easy Play guitar, as well as a Martin D17M. In the fourth row, left to right, 2013 Taylor 520E First Edition, number 54, the year he was born, and a Wechter Shearhorn round neck resonator, followed by a Fender GA435CE. Now we'll move to picture two, and this one we'll call the Ode to the 12-string. Picture two is all 12 strings. The front row, left to right, a Gibson Acoustic Songwriter Roseburst, a Gibson Custom Shop Doves in Flight, a Gibson Custom Shop Hummingbird. The second row, left to right, 1969 Gibson B4512, a Gibson Custom Shop SJ200 Honeyburst, a Gibson Custom Shop J185, a 2003 Gibson SJ200. The third row, left to right, Martin D1228, a Martin Custom Shop D1228 Amberburst, a Martin Custom Shop 00014, and a 1973 Martin D1218. And I got to say, I'm pretty sure that Jim is a Gibson fan of sorts. And last but certainly not least, we have another picture from Jim. And this is where we bring the guitar geekiness to a whole different level. This here is a blanket, a quilt that his mom made him from his guitar collection. His mom's 83. Jim went ahead and took the pictures, and she created this. More awesome than anything he can buy. He said, this was a long process. I bought my shirt in March. Not your fault. Thank you, Big Jim. And I want to thank both Jim and Denny for submitting their Guitarsenals. It's so cool to see what you guys have in your guitar collections. And if you're sitting there thinking, you know what? I got a Guitarsenal that I want to share. You can get featured on an Acoustic Tuesday episode. It's super easy. Follow 3 simple steps. Number 1, order yourself a Guitarsenal shirt. There's a link right beneath the YouTube video. Number 2, put that Guitarsenal shirt on and take a picture amongst your guitars. And number 3, submit it at acousticlife.tv. Just go to acousticlife.tv, click the submit button in the top menu, and you'll be able to submit your picture for future consideration on the Acoustic Tuesday show. All right, I've got one more item for you all today, and this one I was really excited to find. To be honest with you, I was, this is a product that I personally didn't have a need for, but I know that there is a need out there, and I wanted to try it out. And I actually am realizing that I really enjoy using this product. In fact, so much so that I've been using it every time I sit down to practice because I like it so much. It offers me control over the pick. It offers me a better pick grip. And speaking of pick grip, the product is called Picker's Grip. And now, I've never had an issue with holding on to my pick. Well, I shouldn't say that. I actually did. When I first started flat picking, the pick would spin like crazy. It was driving me absolutely nuts. I hated that feeling that I just wasn't really solid on my pick. And I tried a bunch of different things, violin rosin, which was a complete mess, some other products. In fact, I featured a Monster Grip on here before, which I think is a great product as well. Picker's Grip, it was founded in 2018 by Billy Cokes. And he's from Charlottesville, Virginia. He's a picker, and he was experiencing that problem where the pick spins, it just doesn't stay in the same place. It was driving him nuts. So in 2014, he started experimenting. and finally came up with this formula, and I think right around 2017, and then Picker's Grip was founded in 2018. So a lot of time and thought went into this little product, and I can tell you, I think Billy totally hit a home run here, because this is an awesome product. As I mentioned before, I'm really enjoying using it. It's super easy to use. It comes in a little disc, so you just dump it out of its case, right? It almost feels like almost feels like a candle in a weird way, but it's not a candle. I know there's beeswax in it, some citrus extracts, some top secret recipe that works great. So I don't care what's in it, but all I know is that it's 100% natural, which is a huge bonus as well. No weird chemicals or anything like that, and it works darn well. It's easy to use. You just take the disc out of the little container, and you just write. Literally, it's like you're writing on your pick. Just draw, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 lines on one side, 2 or 3 lines on the other side. And after doing that, all you do is take your hand and just work it in, right? And what's beautiful about this is that it doesn't feel like there's anything on your pick. It certainly doesn't feel sticky in the sense where, like, it doesn't feel like it's an adhesive. It almost feels like a rubbery grip. And I mean, but it's pretty tacky. I mean, it does stick to your fingers. Let's see if I can get it to work in here. The heat from your fingers seems to activate it. So as you work it into your pick, it gets a little bit more tacky. It gets a little bit more of that rubberized grip. But it definitely works in keeping the pick in place. And I love it because it doesn't feel like there's anything on the pick. And like I said, I didn't really. I didn't feel like I needed it, but I wanted to try it because I think it's a valid product and people have this problem. But I'm using it, like I said, 2 to 3 weeks now. I use it every single time I play, and I love the control that it offers. And the beautiful thing is that there's really not a ton of residue on the pick once you work it in. However, if you want to remove any of the product, if you feel like there's some left on the pick, it's really easy. Take a dry paper towel and just wipe it off. And boom, you got a clean pick. One of these little containers lasts about 3 to 6 months, which is awesome. And it's $10. So I think it's definitely worth a shot if you are having problems with your pick kind of spinning and moving around on you, or if you're just looking for a little bit more control out of your flat pick. This is definitely something to consider. As I mentioned, it's about $10. Super easy to use, as I showed, and I just think it's something everybody should try. One quick note is don't store it in your pocket because you don't want it to melt, right? You just put it in the pick compartment of your case or something like that. Nowhere near direct heat. But it's fantastic. Again, that's Picker's Grip. You can find out more about it at acousticlife.tv/AT64. You'll see a link there that'll take you directly to the Picker's Grip website. If you want to learn more about it, of course, purchase a little container, you can do that there as well. So that pretty much wraps up Acoustic Tuesday 64, and I'm excited to tuck this one in, but we do have to first revisit our Guitar Geek Trivia question. So here is your Guitar Geek Trivia question recap. In what year was Bourgeois Guitars officially founded? Was it A, 1985, B, 1988, C, 1992, or D, 1995? Well, if you answered C, 1992, you're absolutely correct. Dana founded Bourgeois Guitars in Lewiston, Maine in the year 1992. With a small team of talented builders, he was able to implement the innovative theories and techniques he had developed over nearly a decade of guitar building and repair work. Bourgeois guitars are still made in Lewiston, Maine. Dana currently leads a team of a dozen or so highly skilled guitar makers working in a former textile mill constructed in the 1850s, and they build about 400 instruments each year. And I'm super pumped because this year, one of my guitars will be part of that 400 instruments per year. Pretty cool Guitar Geek trivia for you. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Acoustic Tuesday. Episode 64 is in the books. We've cataloged it. We've went over to the library, looked it up in the card catalog, put it right where it needs to be on the shelf. So that being the case, let's take a sneak peek into next week. Next week on Acoustic Tuesday, you're going to meet Noah's doppelganger. Maybe not so much now with the mustache, but you'll meet Noah's doppelganger. We'll have a look at one awesome DI, and you'll learn how to play artificial harmonics in mere minutes. Yes, you can do this, and I'm going to teach it to you next week on Acoustic Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Acoustic Tuesday. We appreciate you sharing your time with us. Don't forget you can catch Acoustic Tuesday every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on YouTube. And of course, for your acoustic guitar fix in between, please visit acousticlife.tv. Do a deep dive on everything I've ever reviewed on Acoustic Tuesday, find new artists, make sure to check out that Spotify playlist, and of course, don't forget to tune in next week. We can't wait to see you next week on Acoustic Tuesday. Thank you again. Cheers. Have an awesome week.